In this presentation, we're going to see how to use replenishment lead time, time buckets, and dampeners for Microsoft Dynamics NAV. First, we'll start explaining a scenario. We'll use it with time buckets, lot accumulated period, lead time, calendars, and dampeners. So let's start with the scenario we have prepared. So we have a stock keeping unit, and we already have some on purchase order, some in inventory, and on sales order. So if we use the time availability, we're going to go to be below stock because of sales order coming through time. So let's see how the time bucket works first. So we've prepared some fixed order reordering policy, and we're going to calculate the plan for this item at this location. Okay, so system propose different purchase order, and if we want to group this purchase order, we indicate a time bucket. Let's say every 14 days we want to group things to the 14 days. So we've put in the help, it says that 1 week is 6 days, 6D. So 2 weeks we put 14 days. And let's do that again. And now we see only 2 lines, so 2 purchase order created. So in the timeline, we won't be below stock. Let's look. So this time bucket works also with a maximum quantity reordering policy. Okay, that's before using the time bucket. So we have an order on the 23rd of October and one 7 days later. If we want to group them, so every 2 weeks, let's say we want to place an order every 2 weeks, the time bucket is going to group them. Let's see the lot accumulation period. So this works with the lot-to-lot reordering policy. So we see the time bucket is grayed out. So we've put a safety stock here, and so far we don't put any lot accumulation period. So we've got several orders suggested, but instead if we want to group them and the system to suggest us to group the purchase orders, so we've put 14 days and now just one order is suggested. Okay, maybe that's a bit too much, so every week. Let's see how it groups. Okay, so one order, so 4 orders created, and on the timeline we're still above the minimum. So if we want, let's say the last order is a bit short, just 10, maybe it's not enough. If we can say minimum order is 20, we don't place any order below 20. Okay, so we have fewer orders with a minimum order of 20. Let's look at the rescheduling period. So it's for the lot. For lot, we have rescheduling period. We have so far just one purchase order. So it has to do with this planning flexibility that we talked in previous videos. So if by default it's set to unlimited at match, when we release it for that to be known, but let's keep it to unlimited and see how it works. So that means we could, the system can suggest to change an order. Because of the unlimited planning flexibility, NAV is suggesting to cancel the order for 40 of the 26 and to place another one on the 30 for 100. But if we indicate a rescheduling period for, let's say, 6 days, so instead of canceling one order and creating another one, NAV is suggesting to change the quantity of the order of 40 and to change it to 100. Let's go and have a look at lead time now. So the lead time is how long does it take for your vendor to send the goods. So we can put that in the stock in different places actually. Stock keeping unit as we saw. And you'll find also lead time in the vendor. So if any product is sent has the same lead time, we have it on the item card. So let's go on one item and we have the lead time. So if whatever the location is, it always takes the same time to get it shipped to us. And we have it on the vendor, the item vendor catalog. So several places, and if we look at the help, so the program prioritize first item vendor, stock keeping unit, and then the item card. So here we're going to use just the stock keeping unit. If we put a lead time of 10 days, so it takes 10 days to receive the goods. Between the time we order it and we receive it, we have 10 days. So if we are meant to receive it by the 30th, what would be the order date when would we need to place the order? Let's go to the order created, second line. So to receive it on the 30th, the order need to be placed on the 20th. Plus 1 day. Okay, we'll receive it on the 29th, so the 19th. So if we go, instead of using the requisition worksheet, if we use a planning worksheet instead, which is pretty similar, but a bit more advanced, a bit more things, and we explained that in previous videos as well. So in the planning worksheet, we can see a warning, exception, and saying that the order would have need to be placed on the 19th and it's before today. Now let's look at calendars. In previous examples, we haven't used calendars. We can set calendars in different places. One of them is the location. So on a location card, we have a base calendar code. Here, let's see what's in that calendar. If we edit or view it, we're going to see which day are working days. So Saturday, Sunday, not working days, and we can have all the bank holidays as well. So let's redo a previous example. Calculate the plan. So we place the first purchase order for 90 and we're going to see what dates are used. So we'll drill down on the quantity on purchase order and we show the purchase order. Let's go on the lines to see the dates. So now it's the 15th of October. So because of the lead time that now is taking into account the calendar, so not working on Saturday and Sunday, so we could put the calendar also per vendor. So location, vendor, or in general setup, so in the company information. We could have just one calendar for every location. Now time dampeners. Okay, that I have displayed the starting date and the order date. So far, if we put, before I didn't put any lead time, so we were meant to receive at the 30th, we place the order at the 30th. Now with a lead time of 3 days, we need the order to be placed 3 days before. We could put also a safety lead time. Let's say if the supplier is not always reliable and we want to take a 2 days cushion. So 3 days plus the 2 days cushion. It means to receive that by the 30th, we want to receive that by the 28th. And so the order should be placed last time at the 25th. We could put also some handling time to receive the goods and to send the goods. So outbound warehouse handling time and inbound warehouse handling time. Let's say we add 1 day, 1 day to receive, 1 day to send. And now the system tells us we have to place it 1 day before. Now let's look, okay, these two orders are very close and the system, again because of the planning flexibility, is suggesting us to change that. But the two orders, 22nd and 24th, are really close. And for 40, so we can say, if we say a dampening period of any changes or in 3 days within 50 of quantity, don't suggest us to change anything. So here the system is not suggesting any rescheduling. These parameters could be set up as we saw in the stock keeping unit card, but also just at the general level, inventory setup, or in the manufacturing setup, you find also general parameters. So if the stock keeping unit is blank, it will use general parameters.